So yesterday, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 was revealed, and alongside the reveal, we learned that Black Ops 7 is going to come out on last-gen systems, meaning if you have a PS4 or Xbox One, you can still get the newest Call of Duty. A lot of people don't like that they're doing this, and for good reason. The PS4 and Xbox One released all the way back in 2013, being a decade old by now, so it's understandable that a game that's being developed for them, as well as the hot current generation, is naturally going to suffer a little. Development is naturally going to be stretched by having to make multiple ports, and as a result, the game is not going to be as good as it could be. But I kind of like that they're doing this still. Yeah, I get it. Black Ops 7 is going to have a lot of compromises because they have to have a last-gen version too, but this isn't really all that unique for COD. They've been doing this forever since 2006. Call of Duty 3 came out on everything. I'm honestly amazed they didn't make a GameCube version. Now, you could argue that COD 3 being on the PS2 made sense since it was a launch title for the PS3, but you can't make that argument for the original Xbox version. The 360 had been out for a year by that point. Not to mention, COD 3 was a launch title for the PS3 and Wii. But if you were a PlayStation player, that excitement of a brand new game on your brand new system is kind of lost when it came out for your last generation system as well. And at this point in the PS3 life, you could play PS2 disc games on it. And then 2 years later, they did a similar thing with World at War on the PS2. Well, kind of. While it's technically a different game, World at War Final Fronts, the fact that they bothered to even try to bring Call of Duty back to the PS2 in 2008, with the name of the newest Call of Duty game at the time, is a testament to the fact that this is Activision's MO. They want as many copies of their game sold, even if it means doing something like World at War on the PS2. And I'm sure if Final Fronts sold well, they probably would have made a COD 4 and MW2 type game for the PS2 as well. The same thing happened with Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 had a very watered down port for the last generation consoles. This port always confused me because it lacked the campaign mode, but it's still an example of Activision doing this. And Black Ops 3 realistically could have worked fine on the PS3 or Xbox 360. Sure, it wouldn't look as nice as the PS4 and Xbox One versions, but if we're being realistic, if the PS3 wasn't such a hard system to develop for, I would not have been surprised if Black Ops 3 released in a completed state on the PS3 and Xbox 360. And even more so, would not have been surprised if they ended up making Infinite Warfare on the PS3 and Xbox 360. Like I said earlier, I kinda like that they're doing this. Since Call of Duty is designed to take up as much storage as possible to get you to load into a match as fast as possible, but also to make it so you can't download other games, as a PS5 player, I really do appreciate a PS4 version. I basically have an external drive on my PS5 dedicated to only Call of Duty games, with both the onboard PS5 storage and M2 storage being used for other, better PS5 and PS4 games. Like, Call of Duty isn't really a series that benefits from being on the current generation. Nothing Call of Duty does takes advantage of the console's power. Well, kind of. I guess they do take advantage of how good graphically a game can look on the system. But what I mean is, there's nothing about any of the Call of Duties that needs to be on the current gen to work properly. Keep in mind, I'm not saying they need to keep making CODs for the PS4 and Xbox One. What I'm saying is, nothing Call of Duty does seems to take advantage of the console's power. Black Ops 6 looks amazing with PS5 graphics, but playing the PS4 version on a PS5 looks fine. Especially for a system like the PS5. Are you really using the adaptive triggers while playing COD multiplayer? Are you really using the advanced vibration gyros in the PS5 controller in a heated online match? These are awesome features for the PS5 controller, but they offer no advantage in a game like Call of Duty, unless you only play the campaigns and want a super immersive experience. Look, I get it. Black Ops 7 isn't going to reach its fullest potential by having a last-gen version. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's amazing that I could just play the newest AAA game a decade later on the same system. That's really cool, even if it does take away resources. I like that Call of Duty, of all games, is trying to be as accessible as possible. Sure, they're doing it out of greed, trying to squeeze every last penny they can from gamers, but still, I think the fact that I could just download Black Ops 7 on my PS4 is really cool, and as someone who's probably going to end up getting this game anyway, being able to put it on a drive I've basically dedicated to just being for a certain franchise is really convenient for me. I do agree it does suck that the newest game isn't going to reach its full potential by having this port, but it's not something I really care about. It's Call of Duty. You're not playing Call of Duty for the graphics. You're not playing it for its unique and enriching gameplay. You're playing it to get a dopamine rush or slaughter zombies, or because it's basically the only AAA game that still has single-player campaigns with an extensive multiplayer mode as well. I do hope that they eventually stop making PS4 and Xbox One versions of COD, especially when the PS6 or whatever Microsoft calls their new system comes out. But is it something that I think is ridiculous to exist? Not really. It's nice they do this, it's cool they have the resources to do this, but is it necessary? Not really. And that's why I would like them to stop, because it's just not necessary to keep doing, but I'm not going to care if they keep doing it.